what is our effort? So if the effort is going to be that it's just super easy for certain things that we do, then it's not real effort for us. Maybe for someone else, maybe they have a difficult time tapping into their emotions. And for them to show any emotion to anyone is a big deal. So if they're showing emotion to God, they wake up in the morning and they're saying Moda Ani and they're davening and they're thinking about Hashem, that's an incredible level for them. They put in their worth, they've put in their feelings, they've gotten in tune, they did their work, as you call it, a service for God. But for some people, that's just natural. You're going to see someone and you're just hugging and kissing them and, so happy to see them. So where the person's emotions, they didn't go anywhere in that regard. For them, it's like, that's easy. And then it takes more work to put in. And so that's what it's really talking about is what work are we doing to put in? And when we get involved in our everyday life, with our everyday things that happen, whether it's traffic, whether it's dealing with our different situations in life, especially with how things have gone, we almost wonder if this is, alternate universe, we wonder if this is really happening, this type of stuff. So, and that has an impact on our day. It has an impact on how we look at things when it comes to where do we place God? Do we love God? Of course we love God. Is he on our number one list? So he should be. We need to make him our priority. And so these next 9 chapters of Tanya is going to be discussing the whole idea of fear and love of God and our relationship and how one can come to this idea. So now there is this verse in this chapter, and it talks about, and now Israel, what does Hashem, your God, ask of you? Just to fear God. The Talmud says, is fear of Hashem a little thing? So fear of God is a big thing. So now we have this whole idea where it seems that it's a very, not a big deal. But then all of a sudden, the Gemara, the Talmud comes in and says, it's a very big deal. That effort, that push, that love, that fear that you're trying to tune into, it's a huge deal. So we have this contradiction almost. We need to figure out what's really going on and who's right. So there's a story that Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, he's a very famous sage, and he's about to pass away, and his students come to sit by him and talk with him. And the rabbi responds, may it be that Hashem's will, that your fear of God is like your fear of man. And the students are asking him, is that all you want from us? Really? That's it? It's easy. All of our years spending with the Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, and we got away easy. It's so simple. All we have to do is fear God the way you fear a person. So the rabbi responds and he says to them in a more serious tone, halavai, like I wish that you would fear Hashem as much as you fear man. Because if someone comes to someone's door, what do? You are dressed, even for the mailman, even for someone just knocking, you are dressed. So like this morning I had to make sure every single one of my kids was dressed because we had a handyman fixing our window downstairs. One of the windows needed a little fixing, and everyone was dressed and ate, and everything was good, and it was before 8 in the morning. And so normally would that be the schedule? But can you say that you're going to be dressed and everything is perfect before 8 in the morning when we're going to be saying, of course, their brachas when they pray, of course, they're dressed in their cheder clothes and their uniforms. But before that, they're going to be more hamish, more easygoing with what they're going to be dressed in. So that's the real question. That's the real answer, really, that we're seeing from this dialogue between the rabbi and his students. And so now we're understanding a little bit more. The sages are saying one thing. They're saying it is a big deal, fear of God. Moshe Rabbeinu, Moses, is saying another thing. He's saying, it's not that big of a deal. And you're thinking, well, Moshe, yeah, we understand it's not that big of a deal when it comes to you. But then, of course, we remember that Moshe he's not talking about himself. He's talking about the Jewish people. And so he's saying it's not that big of a deal for the Jewish people. So again, we don't understand this because we're not, the sages are saying one thing, Moshe is saying another thing, and we're looking at ourselves and saying, okay, who's right? What is it? Has to be something. So this is the dialogue. One of the things I was thinking of, one of the examples I was thinking of a person really putting effort in is when we're going on a diet. If we're dieting or if we're being careful with what we're eating and we notice that summer's coming along and we're going to start, everyone's going to be working out and dieting and the whole thing, the whole shebang. We put hours invested in this. Sometimes we even have little diaries. Sometimes we even, we make sure that we invite someone to come with us. It's such a scheduled thing for something that really, you could think it should be the last thing really on most people's list. Just, you're kind of watching, but not to the extent where we see people, what they go through. Especially women who are very in tune with their feelings, with their emotions. They are very careful with diets and with what needs to be done. So the same exact idea is when it comes to Hashem. Hashem is expecting certain things from us. Not just status quo, not just, okay, you're trying, so nice. Holiday season's coming around, we might as well get involved. And even if for some of us, we're invested in our weekly classes, we're making sure God is noticed and we care about him every day. But there's so much more of what's going on here, of how to have a deeper relationship. So another concept that it's mentioning, when it mentions Moshe, it also talks about the idea that he's the shepherd of faith. An interesting expression. And when we think about it, we realize that Moshe really has a part in each one of us because he's the general soul of the generation. He carries every single person's soul within him. And he's the shepherd of faith because we understand that how devoted he is to the people, to the cause, to doing whatever it took to make sure that the Jewish people and Hashem were always connected. So this must come in with this answer that we're going to get to, but we clearly see that it takes Moshe to help us in our connection with Hashem because each one of us has this leader quality because Moshe, there's a little bit of Moses within you. So each one of us has this little bit of Moshe within us. Each one of us then, when we're approaching different things, even if we feel we can't do that, we definitely can because we have this Moses within us. Soul is entering the body. You could think, okay, it should make a big deal. It should make a big difference. But unfortunately, you have this idea, and I think I mentioned it before, the idea of the serpent skin. It's like the evil inclination that's going to trick you, that's going to make you distracted. It's almost like, you're sent on this treasure hunt. And if you ever do this as kids in a mall, and you're sent in there, that's what they used to do before they have all these, this technology. And we would go into the malls and this treasure hunt, and we all got distracted. There's something over here, there's something over there, and it was such an easy thing. But somehow we never could focus on the goal because there was just so much going on around us. So I think the same idea is what's really going on here is that there is so many distractions, but we keep going back to the original question, what is it? How do we get to this level to be considered that we really have a fear, that we really have a love?